Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Charles and this is my first ever video, so please bear with me with how bad this is probably gonna be because I'm still learning the ropes on how to do all this. Yes. Anyway, so I thought it'd be nice to make my first video about the Criterions I bought on the latest Barnes Noble sale that they just had this past month. So yeah, I'm just gonna get right into it because I don't know what else to say. Okay, so the first Criterion I'm going to show you is The Lady Eve. I really like Preston Sturges's work, but this really is not the best Preston Sturges movie like made. But you know, it's better than some of his other ones. And out of the three Preston Sturges movies in the Criterion Collection, I would say this one's the weakest. I think Sullivan's Travel. Sullivan's Travel is the best. But you know what? I couldn't resist this because I love Preston Sturges regardless. So I was like, I'm just gonna buy it. And also the artwork looks pretty great and I love Barbara Stanwyck, so I had to get it. Okay, so the next Criterion that I have is The Cranes Are Flying. Yes, there were cranes. I'm pretty sure there were cranes flying in this movie. But yeah, it's a pretty great World War II. I think it takes place during World War II. I'm not sure. I don't remember, to be honest. One of the World Wars, either the first or second. I don't really remember, but it's one of the World Wars. But I just thought this was beautifully shot and a really powerful story. There's really striking imagery in it, and I was just like, wow. When I saw it I saw it first on the Criterion channel, so I was like, after watching it, I was like, I have to get it on the sale. Like, so yeah, that's why I got The Cranes Are Flying. Okay, so the next movie I have is Heaven Can Wait. Yes, Ernest Lubitsky? Lub Lubitsch? However you say his name. Don't clock me. Anyway, yeah, I watched this for the first time, like, I think 2 years ago, and I was like, it's fine, but you know, this sale, I was like, I'm just gonna pick it up because I'm gonna give it another chance. Because it's beautiful, like most of Ernest's movies are, but I was like, I just wasn't feeling the story, but who knows. You know, sometimes when I watch a movie after years, my opinion changes, so I was like, I'm gonna rewatch this soon. Speaking of another rewatch, I picked up The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Yes, I'm always like, how does it end after I say The Life Aquatic? But anyway, this really is my least favorite Wes Anderson movie. I don't know why. I need to revisit it, but like, I don't know why people like it a lot. It's his one rotten movie on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm like, I kind of concur with it, to be honest. I really wasn't feeling it when I watched it for the first time, and there's a really bad joke in here that I really did not vibe with, so we'll see how I feel when I revisit this movie. And another movie I'm revisiting is The Ice Storm. When I first saw it, I was like, this is some depressing stuff, you guys. It's like really depressing, and I was like, I don't know where we're going because the movie didn't really go anywhere, in my opinion. But you know, I remember reading a bunch of reviews recently, and they were talking about like the importance of the ice storm, what the meaning of it is, and how they like compared it to American Beauty. And when I started thinking about it like that, I was like, this movie actually was good. So let me rewatch it and maybe do a double feature with American Beauty, and maybe I might like this a lot more. But the cast in this is all star, and yeah, maybe I needed time to figure out how good it was, but I'm gonna rewatch it to see how good it was. So the next movie I have is Mishima. Yes, this, honestly, look at the packaging on this. It's beautiful. But yeah, this was one of the first Criterions I ever saw, like way back in 2017, and I thought it was really great. But for some reason, it took me forever to buy it, as in like 3 years. So I finally bought it because I was like, I need to pick this up. And yeah, it's a great Paul Schrader movie. You should see it if you haven't because it's pretty excellent. So the next movie I have is The Fugitive Kind. Yes, I watched this before I bought it, and I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan, but I'm a fan of the director Sidney Lumet, and I'm a fan of Marlon Brando. I'm a fan of Joanne Woodward, and Anna Magnani. So I was like, I'm gonna get this and rewatch it because maybe I think I was having a bad day when I watched this, so I really wasn't feeling it. But it's a play. It's based on a play from Tennessee Williams, so I'm like, ah, I need to give it another chance again because this movie legit screams everything I love. So I don't know why it wasn't clicking the first time I saw it, but I will revisit it and hopefully I will like it better. So the next movie I have is A Touch of Zen. I really wasn't planning on buying this one. I really wanted the Dragon Inn, but they were out of the Dragon Inn, and then I heard this one was just as great or even better. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get it. It looks cool, and apparently the main character is a woman. So I'm like, I'm always loving watching movies where women like are in charge and all that. So I'm like, gonna give this one a watch, and hopefully it is as good or even better than The Dragon Inn, which is from the same director. Okay, so the next movie I have is Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. Yes, I'm like, is there an A in front of it? Oh, fire or just fire? It's fire only. But anyway, yes, I like this movie actually a lot. But at the same time, I was kind of confused with what was going on. But then again, it's a David Lynch film, so when am I not confused when I'm watching a film by him? Anyway, I want to rewatch this because I don't know, I thought it was really good. But I've never watched Twin Peaks the show, and apparently like this spoils the show, and I'm just like, whatever. I will rewatch this and then watch the show probably. But yeah, I thought this was pretty great. Disturbing, but great. Okay, so the next movie I have is The Breakfast Club. Yeah, this is another one where I bought it because I own the original, like the regular Blu-ray they've had, but I bought this because I was like, of course it's a 4K upscale. I had to get it. But the thing is, I've never liked this John Hughes movie. I'm more of a fan of 16 Candles, even though that movie legit has one of the most racist Asian characters, and I'm just like, I erase my mind when I think of him in that movie. When he's in that movie, when I watch 16 Candles, I'm just like, he does not exist. We're gonna avoid. You know what? In general, John Hughes, looking back, has some very problematic stuff in his movies. But this one, it's like everyone's like The Breakfast Club, and I'm just like, I need to understand why people like it. So I was like, I'll upgrade it and then I'll rewatch it. Seriously, like my science teacher in um, 11th grade had a poster of The Breakfast Club in her science room, and I was like, I need to figure out why people like this movie because I honestly don't understand it that well. Like I get the concept and all that, but I'm always just like, I don't know. Sure. Okay, so the next movie I have is True Stories. I was like, does this have a T in front of it? And it's like, no, it's just True Stories. Anyway, I this movie is pretty much mystifying to me. I don't know how David Byrne did it, but when I watch this movie, I'm like, I feel like it's one long kind of music video in a sense, and all those songs are great, and I'm just like drawn in instantly. John Goodman in this movie, he's so sweet. I'm just like, aw. Like, his whole character storyline, I'm like, usually it would come out as kind of creepy and desperate, but I just found it endearing and sweet. So somehow this movie is able to make you feel that way. So, but yeah, I thought this was cute, and this one's like the $50 one. So when it's like on sale, it's 25, and I'm like, why? And I'm still figuring out why is this one so expensive. I don't really understand because it's short and it ain't no Night of the Hunter, but still, I'm like, it's good, but I'm like the price. Okay, so the next movie I have is Local Hero. I've seen this movie once before, and all I could have like say about it really was beautiful scenery, beautiful scenery. Story, sure, but I didn't really understand what the story was. I had to Google it, and I was like, I kind of got that was what the story was about, but at the same time, I feel like I was just like lost. Maybe I wasn't watching at the right time. Sometimes movies, I have to watch it in the right time, or else I'm not really understanding what I'm watching, or care to understand what I'm watching. But this one, I was like, I'm just gonna pick it up because I was like, I'll give it another shot, and also the artwork for this is great. So I was like, I gotta get it. I gotta get it. The next movie I got was All About My Mother, the iconic Pedro Almodovar movie. I think this was his first that won him the best foreign language film for Spain. And I'm like, for good reason too, because this movie's like brilliant. I love Pedro Almodovar and the whole cast of women in this movie. Excellent. Excellent. If you haven't watched a Pedro Almodovar movie, I would start with this one from the Criterion Collection because this is the third Pedro Almodovar movie in the Criterion Collection with Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down, and Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. And I would say this one is hands down the best one in the collection. I would like to see more. I would like to see more of Pedro Almodovar in the collection because he knows what's up and his movies are just amazing. So yes, if you have not watched this, watch it. Seriously, what are you waiting for? So, the next movie I have is Holiday, starring Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn. And I gotta say, I'm pretty sure Holiday and Bringing Up Baby both came out at the same time, and this one flopped while Bringing Up Baby, like, made a lot of money. But I'm just like, I'm all for a good screwball comedy, but I don't really like Bringing Up Baby as much as I do Holiday. I feel like Holiday I just feel like it has a better message, and I like their pairing here better than in Bring Up Baby. But yeah, it's a cute movie, and you know, this is kind of around the time. I think The Awful Truth was when Cary Grant's like persona really started, and this one I'm like, it was just the ball was continuing to roll, and I was like, this I'm like is honestly iconic Cary Grant. Like Cary Grant doing what Cary Grant does like best. Katharine Hepburn, I'm like, she's doing the work. She's doing the work. She's always doing the work. But yeah, they're both great in this movie. So it's a nice little movie if you want something nice to watch with two of Hollywood's best stars. So next I have Teorema. Who's it? Pasolini. Yes. I don't really know what to say about this movie. All I got. Hmm. Yeah, this movie's hard to explain. All I know is that I liked it a lot for some reason, and Terrence Stamp in this movie. At first, I was like, so this guy's supposed to like seduce this whole family. Yeah, right. Terrence Stamp does not look that good. And as I kept watching, I was like, I don't know what's happening because I'm falling under the same spell or whatever as the whole family is, and I was like, man, I'm feeling this movie. This movie's taking me on a roller coaster. Yeah, just watch it. Like, I don't know if you would buy it, blind buy it, maybe borrow it or stream it if you could, because it's very, it's so hard to explain, but it's good. It's good. So yeah. Okay, next I have Roma. Yeah, I'm very lukewarm on Roma. I think it's good, but it doesn't excite me. Like, I remember having an argument with this guy I went to high school with because he was like, Roma's the best movie of the year. But I was like, The Favorite honestly is better. And he got like very angry with me. But yeah, Roma, it's good. Like, honestly, overrated, not gonna lie. But you know, it's good. I own it. It's good. Yeah. Okay, next I have Paris is Burning. Iconic queer film for the gays of color, doing the damn thing, inspiring pose. Yeah, it's short, but there's extra minutes on this one, so I'm excited to watch it again with the extra footage. And yeah, it's streaming on Netflix, like, not the extra footage, of course, it's only on the Criterion that you get the extra footage, but yeah, if you have Netflix, which mostly everyone does, so you kind of have no excuse, but you should watch it because it's very entertaining and it's insightful. Yeah, it's insightful. And it's really entertaining too, which I already said. But you get the gist. It's good. That's why it's here in the Criterion Collection. So, yeah. The next movie I got was Bamboozled. I'm very hit or miss with Spike Lee movies, but this one's one of his best. Like, reading the reviews back in the day of this movie, it was really critically maligned. Like, it has a really bad Rotten Tomato score, like around the 50s. And I'm like, No, this is actually really brilliant. It's like this movie is like if you smash together Network, A Face in the Crowd, and the producers, and then made it all about race. And I was like, Spike Lee and his brilliance strike again. I recently just watched this for the first time, like a day or two ago, and I was blown away by what I watched. Powerful stuff. When Spike Lee knows what he's doing, he makes a masterpiece like this. Yeah, like I think this might even be better than Do the Right Thing, but that's just my hot take. The next I have Leave Her to Heaven. It's beautiful. This movie. It's beautiful. Gene Tierney is femme fatale to the gods. I honestly don't know what else to say except for if you like a noir, if you like a noir movie, then this one is noir, but instead of like black and white, it's pastel colors, vibrant colors, and it flips the head on what a noir can look like. But it's very much noir, and yeah, Gene Tierney, Oscar nominated. Her only Oscar nomination was for her performance in this film, and very deserving. Like, she's like Amy Dunn, but if Amy Dunn went further than where Amy Dunn was, like, I bet Amy Dunn and her would be BFFs. To be honest, they'd be like, "We're gonna get these men," and I'm like, "You do that." So the next movie I have is The Prince of Tides. It's Barbra Streisand's second movie she directed, and honestly, it's probably her best movie that she's directed. It's just really good. I recently watched it. Holds up very well. And honestly, she was robbed. She was robbed of that director nomination, and she was robbed of also getting credited for the screenplay, so she could have gotten a screenplay nomination. The robbing of Barbra Streisand. She deserves much better. But yeah, watch this movie because it's actually really good, and not many people give it credit for being good. So watch it, people. Watch it. Okay, so the next movie I have is The Grand Budapest Hotel, my favorite Wes Anderson movie. Hands down, behind this it would be The Royal Tenenbaums, but The Grand Budapest Hotel is, I think, yeah, I think this was the first ever Wes Anderson movie I saw, and then I saw Moonrise Kingdom, and then Fantastic Mr. Fox, and I randomly went backwards from where I started, which was this one, and I went back in his filmography, and I'm just like, random why I did it like that. But anyway, favorite Wes Anderson movie, Ralph Fiennes was robbed of an Oscar nomination, and yeah, too bad we ain't getting The French Dispatch because of COVID, but oh well, at least I have my Grand Budapest Hotel and Criterion and the supplements, so the next movie I have is The Great Escape. When they say this movie is like a dad movie, they're not wrong. Like, it's all guys, and I'm just like, okay, we're breaking out of like a prisoner of war camp for basically 3 hours. Okay. I mean, the stars in the movie, I'm just like, I'm not a fan of Steve McQueen, but like, I was like, I'll watch it. And I told myself after I watched it the first time it was on Amazon Prime for free, but then I don't think it is anymore. But when I watched it, I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna watch it again. But when I saw this in person, I was like, the artwork looks too nice, so I'm gonna buy it and maybe I'll rewatch it eventually. Next, I have Wildlife, Paul Dano's movie, and I'm gonna say it's Paul Dano's movie, but it's also Zoe Kazan's because Paul and Zoe are married apparently, which I didn't know, but good for them. I like both of them, but they both wrote the screenplay for this movie, so I was like, yeah, gonna check it out. But yeah, it's weird because this movie didn't play in a theater near me, and I had to watch it like when it was on able to like rent, and I was like, ugh. But yeah, good movie. Carey Mulligan is fantastic as always. She should have gotten an Oscar nomination. If this movie was just more like in the talks that season, I think she could have nabbed that Oscar nomination. Honestly, she's very fearless for playing characters who you don't agree with, and she's like, "Why do you?" When we never ask that question about men, but we do when we're watching like female performances where the characters are unlikable. I'm like, very true, very true. But also, I'm like, Jake Gyllenhaal's character was too. So I was just like, both these adults need to get their act together for their kid. But yeah, I'm gonna rewatch it to see if I like it more. But it's a solid movie. So you should check it out, especially if you like Paul Dano, because support his directorial efforts. Okay, so the next movie I have is An Unmarried Woman. This movie slaps. It's iconic. Is it a bit dated? Maybe, but I think it's just really great, and Jill Clayburgh gives an amazing performance. And if Jane Fonda wasn't in the running that year, the Oscar year for Coming Home, then I feel like she might have been able to snap. I feel like Jill could have snatched it. I don't know. Her performance is really good, which is why I'm like, it deserves some mention, because I feel like no one ever talks about Jill Clayburgh's performance and this movie in general, which is why, like, when I watched it for the first time, I was like, this movie needs a Criterion. And when they were finally, like, a year later after I watched the movie, they were like, Criterion of this movie, I was like, answers. They answered me. They answered my thought process. Like, thank you, because this movie's great. And also the score is so good, so watch it. Like, it's really good. Okay, next I have The Cameraman, another blind buy. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of silent movies. Silent movies are not really my jam, as I just said. However, I was gonna give this a chance because people were really raving about this, and I was like, I'm gonna just pick it up. Why not? It was something that I saw on the last day of the sale when I went, and I was like, oh, they restocked, so yeah, I'm just gonna pick it up. But yeah, I'll watch it, and hopefully it's good. Like, there's only like one silent movie I've ever liked, and it's The Kid Brother from Harold Lloyd, which I own on the Criterion Collection. But yeah, like, hopefully this holds up, because people say it's good, so I'm gonna trust people, even though I don't like people. So the next movie I have is one that I really wanted when the sale started, but it sold out immediately, so I had to wait. But I was able to get it last minute before the sale ended, and that movie is Portrait of a Lady on Fire. This movie is a complete masterpiece. I don't really have much to say other than that everything about this movie is perfect, and that people should watch it because it's on Hulu, you guys. So if you have Hulu, you can watch it. But this one has a 4K. This one has 4K like digital master. So yeah, I would buy this and then watch it because this probably is the best way to watch it. But yeah, watch it because it's amazing. And fun fact, this was the last movie I saw in theaters before the theater shut down. So I mean, it's the best movie I've seen this year, and at least if I can't go to theaters anymore, that I went out with a bang this year with this movie being the last one I saw. So the next movie I have is another blind buy that everyone was like, I need to get it, and I was like, I feel peer pressured, so I'm just gonna go buy it too. But again, this I saw on the last day of the sale when I went, and that is War of the Worlds. Yeah, the artwork looks really good. But I've only seen, the only War of the Worlds I've ever seen is the Tom Cruise one when I was young, and that kind of scarred me a bit for a while in my life. But yeah, I was like, this looks fun. This looks fun. Artwork's great, people want it, so I'm gonna buy it, because if people want it, I was like peer pressure, I guess, to buy it. But yeah, I have it. Yeah, so hopefully it's good. The next movie I have is Marriage Story. Yeah, like I wasn't gonna get this. I had to like put a pre-order in because I was like, at the rate that things were going with how the Criterions were always selling out, I was like, let me just pre-order this, that way I have a copy. But yes, I got a copy of it, and yes. I think Kramer versus Kramer is a better movie about divorce, but you know what? This one is more balanced in its like storytelling, and gives both of them like a viewpoint. So I can't fault this movie for doing what Kramer versus Kramer failed to do in some points. But anyway, like, love both of these movies. And Laura Dern in this movie, iconic. Laura Dern, iconic. And did she deserve the Oscar win? I mean, seeing as J-Lo didn't get nominated, I was like, yes. But if J-Lo was nominated, I would have been like, Laura Dern, you gotta move out of the way for J-Lo. But at least this movie has one Oscar, because it didn't win anything else other than for Laura Dern, which is weird. And honestly, I would say that this probably is my favorite Baumbach movie. This or Frances Ha, one of the two. But yes, great movie. So my first box set I got was the Three Colors trilogy. Yeah, this is a blast. Like, I told myself when this sale started, we're gonna get this, and this sold out immediately, and I had to wait until the very end of the sale to get it. But I got it. I got it. It's great. It's great. And the last box set I got, and the last thing I got during the sale was the Decalogue. Um, I really don't know much about the Decalogue, but I only got it because I was sad that I didn't get the Three Colors trilogy because it was sold out. But then I got it, so now I have both that and this, and I'm just gonna watch it because I hear it's really good. So hopefully it's good. Okay, and with that, that is all the Criterions I got during my Criterion haul for the Criterion sale that we just had. Hopefully when the Criterion sale happens again in like October, November, the Blu-rays won't go out of stock so fast like they did this sale. And I have a few that I have my eye on, but this sale, I really cleaned up a lot of Criterions, so hopefully I don't get too much next time because my bank account cannot afford to do this amount of Criterion shopping again. Anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. I'm gonna try to put more content on this channel, and hopefully I get better at like doing this whole recording thing, because right now I'm just like with the way I'm recording all this. But yeah, thanks for watching, and yes, yeah, I really don't have a sign off phrase, so for now I'm just like bye.